Yeah, good afternoon. Good afternoon. I almost say good after morning. Good afternoon. Happy Friday to everybody. Welcome to the Friday Night Beer Stream. Look, all I got to say is we got 2 weeks before football season starts, right? We've got, tomorrow's Saturday. And so 2 weeks from tomorrow, we literally have a Power 5 football game, the first game of 2019 in the regular season. Miami and Florida kicking off. I'm so excited. Why are we not sitting around talking about Miami and Florida? Instead, we're talking about Kelly Bryant getting rings for missing 11 games and walking out on the team after 4 games. This is what we're talking about here. You guys, listen. Have you guys ever seen, I don't know how many of you guys in here are old enough to remember Seinfeld, the show Seinfeld. One of the greatest shows ever. You know, some people love it, some people hate it. But look, whether you love it or hate it, one of the greatest episodes ever on Seinfeld. It was a show, and it was called The Soup Nazi. It was a soup place where they had the best soup. And everyone went in there, and the line was down the block to get the soup. And George goes up to get some soup, and for whatever reason, the owner of the soup place, I think his name was, they call him the Soup Nazi. I don't know what he really was. The famous line from that show: "No soup for you." He didn't know why. He's like, "Why no soup for me? Why no soup for me?" He's like, you go, no soup for you. Yeah, no ring for you. Listen, I don't care if people say he only won the Texas A&M game because or he should get a ring only because if it weren't for Kelly Bryant, they wouldn't have won the Texas A&M game. Bullshit. How do you know that? Do you have a crystal ball? Are you psychic? Do you have magical powers that none of us know about? How would you know who would have won that game without Kelly Bryant? Look, they wouldn't have won the game without Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence's very first play in the game was a 60-yard bomb to T. Higgins. And last time I checked, Clemson won that game by less than a touchdown. So without Trevor Lawrence, they wouldn't have won the game either. And since Trevor Lawrence didn't play like literally the entire second half, how do we know how Trevor Lawrence would have done in the second half compared to Kelly Bryant? Kelly Bryant in the fourth quarter was terrible. He was awful. Don't listen. This is all I read on Twitter. Oh, they wouldn't have won the game without Kelly Bryant. They wouldn't have won the game. How do you know that? You got to be kidding me with this stuff. I love Kelly Bryant. I was the biggest defender of him whenever he left. Everyone else in Clemson universe was calling him a quitter. Oh, this quitter. Good riddance, quitter. I'm sitting out here getting bashed by Clemson fans and everybody else for saying, look. The guy earned, listen, he should be able to leave. I don't blame the guy at all. And guess who was the ones around calling him quitter? That's right. You guessed it. All the Georgia fans, all the Alabama fans, especially the Alabama fans with Jalen Hurts. Oh, Jalen Hurts stayed. I mean, they were just slobbing this guy's knob like there was no tomorrow. Jalen Hurts. Everybody in the world, everybody in the country, except for Pigskin Pete, was sticking up for Kelly Bryant. And those same exact people that were trashing him day in, day out, calling him a quitter. Clemson's a bunch of quitters. He's a quitter. These are the ones now saying the same guy should get a ring. I'm sorry. I must have cut the sound off. I'm about to have a heart attack. Let me check the phone lines. I'm too young for heart medication. but close to needing it though. I think I might have. I think I might have cut my phone. What the fuck, man? I think I did something. I might have messed my phone system up here. Damn it. All right, looks like here I got it back online here. By the way, happy Friday to everybody. Good afternoon, Mel and Pete.
Are you alive and well?
No, I'm barely well. I'm having I'm having a complete mental meltdown, sir. But thank you. By the way, everybody, this is the one, the only. By the way, Bobby Durkins. How you doing, Bobby Durkins?
Yeah, I'm the guy in the shadows, Bobby Durkin. I'm actually driving to Clemson right now. I'm playing a gig tonight in Clemson.
Yeah, you told me that. What's the name? What's the name of the? By the way, because there might be
driving to Promise.
Yeah, there might be people listening tonight that are in that area. So go ahead and plug it, man. What's the name of the place you're going to?
I'm actually playing a private party. It's a private party, a celebration for some people I know. So I would invite people out if I was playing like Tiger Town Tavern or somewhere or the SO, but I'm not. I'm playing a private party. Okay. Of course, if you were in town, I'd bring you.
Well, I appreciate that. I'd show up whether you wanted me to show up or not, though. That's the only difference. You wouldn't have to invite me. I'd just show up.
Yeah. Is the beer cold? He's there.
Exactly. Yes.
No, I tell you this, man. This whole Kelly Bryant thing is really, really interesting. And to me, the common theme, and we talked about this on the phone yesterday, the common theme here is, to me, is not just about Kelly Bryant. There's a common thing that for some reason, over the past 3 or 4 years, we really saw almost kind of like a desire from the college football world to break up the monotony of Alabama. And you got it. You've got Clemson. Clemson's doing it. You know, here's a team that hadn't won a national championship since 1981. And they're doing it. They're doing it. And now we're finding people who are just absolutely opening up hunting season on Clemson for, I don't know, no apparent reason. It's just like, I thought you wanted Alabama to go down. I thought you wanted somebody else to be a champion. I thought you wanted. So to me, this is just not about Kelly Bryant.
It's about,
to me, this is about.
It's about Dabo Swinney. That's what it's about.
This is about Dabo Swinney. That's what it's really, really about. This clean, polished guy who's happy, and he can get results, but he doesn't have to be the reincarnation of Satan. He retains the majority of his coaches. I think he's only lost, 2 coaches in, 6 or 7 years?
Yeah.
I mean, this guy is a pleasure to work for. People love working for him. He, instead of giving himself a raise, he'll turn around and say, hey, I want some more of that money divvied up to my coordinators and my coaching staff so they'll stay. I realize why I'm successful, and it's not me.
Hey, look,
Dabo Swinney is.
Yeah, look, a lot of the people I'm seeing, all these people that are criticizing this thing about the Kelly Bryant ring, they're almost all of them are in the SEC. A lot of Georgia fans. Look, let's take a live look at Georgia's national championship hardware. It's beautiful. I mean, I don't know how much it would cost to get diamonds put in that thing, but look, if Kelly Bryant was to go down to Georgia instead of Missouri, he'd probably get a nice shiny pair of those. I'm sure he could.
I don't know where this is coming from, because I will say this, and we talked about this, a little earlier, the whole Swinney thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this to SEC fans, and I've been very, very blunt about this. And I said this to Catfish. I was talking to him. I called him the other night and just chatted with him while he was out driving. And I told him, I said, I recognize that the SEC has this great tradition. I mean, it really does. It has an amazing tradition, a lot of great players that's come out of it. But if I'm pulling for a team outside of Alabama, right now the last thing I need to be doing is trying to protect Alabama, because to me there's some of that that's going on even by other fan bases, but they're SEC fans. They're SEC fans, and so they've got to come up with a reason of why Sweeney and the boys beat the crap out of Bama, a really good Bama team. I'll never take away from how good Bama was. It was just that Clemson was that prepared. They were that determined. They were that well coached across the board with a coaching staff that has been together for a very long time. They're not changing up coaches left and right. That means something, Pete. That means something for many reasons. Recruiting, culture, continuity in winning, it means something. And for some reason, and as I was saying, and I'm getting off track here because I'm getting fired up now, was I told Catfish, I said, if SEC fans would start pulling for themselves and say, hey, man, we honored the tradition, but I beg to God that Georgia overthrows Alabama and they don't blow it. Or I beg to God that LSU finally gets an offense that's worth a crap and they finally overthrow Alabama. Or that Texas A&M, though I'm not some big A&M fan, the A&M pulls it together and they overthrow Alabama, that SEC does not realize it's going to be under the thumb of Alabama. And that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
They need somebody else to win.
Yeah, well, I agree. Look, man, are you in a car right now?
Yeah.
I can tell. It sounds like you're driving through the Manhattan Tunnel.
I am so sorry, dude.
It's all good.
Well, listen. I will let you go. I'll let you go, but just try to keep it together. Remember, you're in beautiful Charleston. You'll be okay. You'll be fine.
Yeah. No, I'm fine. Oh, I'm fine. I think you know what? I should hire you to call me down because my blood pressure was going through the roof. But you calmed me down, sir. Good job. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, Mrs. Peete will have me on speed dial going, just get on the phone with him. Get on the phone with him.
Hey, look, you don't want that problem.
Yeah, I don't think I want to sign up for that one. I might do. My phone will be ringing off the hook.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, man, hey, it's a great show. Anybody who's sitting and listening to this man right now and you haven't subscribed to him, you're crazy. Subscribe to him now. Hit those notifications because I'm going to tell you, Pigskin Pete knows what's going on. So I'll let you go, bud.
Hey, have a good show, Bobby, tonight. I mean, the real show, not the YouTube show, the gig you got going on.
Yeah, we'll have a good time. See you, buddy.
All right, man. Thank you. All right. Bye. I got another call here on the line. Excuse me. Hold on. Let me see who's in the chat here real quick. I got because I got to keep up with the people here. I see. Is this the general?
Yeah, how you doing, Pistol Pete?
Hey, Pistol Pete. Come on now. Hey, hold on 1 second. I'm going to get through the chat here. My name's not Pistol Pete. It's Pigskin Pete, but that's all right. Brody L, T. Davis, Rick Robinson, Uncle Lou. Why has Clemson had to cheat to win every natty they ever won? Oh, listen, the butt hurt coming from Georgia. Listen, Uncle Lou, you should be happy, sir. You should be happy that somebody can beat Alabama because you guys can't do it. That's for damn sure. Little C7, Mario Thomas, George in the house, Rick Robinson. And I think that is it for now. Let me see. Wesley Atoni. I'm probably butchering that name. Tater King. I think UGA does cheat because they can never win a big game. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I just said. Boilermaker forever. All right. What's up, General? How you doing, sir?
I'm good, Pete. Now, I was thinking about this, and I just wanted to get your thoughts on this. The Mississippi State game versus Tennessee, who do you think wins that game, Mississippi State or Tennessee? It's in Knoxville.
I'm going to say Tennessee. Now,
yeah.
look. Now,
believe it or not,
go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go
Well,
ahead.
there are people who. What was that?
I'm saying go ahead.
Okay. Well, there are people who think Mississippi State is going to beat Tennessee. And at first I was like, okay, well, Mississippi State was a good team last year. That's a reasonable prediction. Now I started looking at what they lose. I'm thinking that's just absurd. They lost their entire defensive line to the NFL.
Right.
All of that NFL talent gone. NFL. Now, Tennessee fans, they're worried about our defensive line. We lost some stars off of there. This is nothing compared to Mississippi State. I'm not even exaggerating. Their entire defensive line gone. NFL.
Yeah.
Starting quarterback gone.
Right.
They have lost half of that team.
Yeah, you're right.
So if this was last year, obviously Mississippi State could potentially beat Tennessee. You could even make the case they'd be the favorite. But they lost half their team. I can't understand how in the world you can be predicting Mississippi State to be beating Tennessee. Now, if you're saying it's a ball game, it's going to be close, okay, I tend to agree with you there. But you cannot be picking Mississippi State, a team that lost half of their talent to the NFL, to be picking Tennessee. You just can't do it.
Right. No, I agree. Listen, they lost the best quarterback they've had in probably the past 6 or 7 years, and Nick Fitzgerald, or at least the most productive one. I don't know if he's the best one, but he was definitely the most productive one. They've got a second-year head coach. They lost 3 or 4 players to the NFL draft on the defensive side of the ball. Mississippi State, I think, I still think they're going to be good. Relatively speaking, as related to the rest of the country, I still think Mississippi State's going to be good, not great, but they're going to take a step back this year from where they were last year. So, yeah, I would say Tennessee, I believe, will take a step forward this year, and Mississippi State will take a step back. And the fact that game is in Knoxville, I would definitely favor the Vols in that game. Do you know what the spread is for that game in Vegas? Is there one yet?
Yeah, it's like this is the way too early one, obviously. It's like 1 or 2, I think, for Tennessee.
Right.
And I think that's way too low just because of how much they lost, but that's just me.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
I couldn't believe this. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I would take Tennessee anything under, say, 4 or 5 points as a favorite. Anything over 5 points, I would probably not bet it, at least until closer to the game, because I don't know how, who's going to get injured or what, that kind of thing. But if I was to bet today on it, I'd say anything under 5 points for Tennessee as a favorite, I'd take Tennessee.
And speaking about odds, I couldn't believe this when I saw it. The ESPN FPI or whatever it's called, I think that's what it's called. I want you to take a guess. How many games you think the ESPN FPI has Tennessee favored in? How many you think they got Tennessee favored in?
How many of the games for the entire season?
Yeah, just take a guess.
Oh, God. 4.
9. They have 9 and 3. Only underdogs to Alabama, Georgia, and Florida. And I couldn't believe that.
They're favored. They're favored. They're favored against Missouri and South Carolina and Florida. You say, or do you say Florida?
No, Alabama, Georgia, and Florida are the only three that are not favored against.
I got you. But you're favored against Missouri and South Carolina is what you're telling me, though.
According to the ESPN FPI, yes.
Oh, the FPI, yeah. I don't put much. Yeah, the FPI is, first of all, I believe that all the polls are meaningless. So, I mean, you're talking to the wrong guy. I mean, I understand that a lot of people love the polls, but I think out of all the polls, the FPI is like the least legitimate one, pretty much. Yeah,
because it's literally just computers. And that's what I was going to tell you. The fact that they have as a Tennessee fan, the fact that they have us won in 9 games is absurd, or at least favored in them, at least. Now, I'll let you get another call, all right, Pistol Pete?
All right.
Pigskin Pete?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Talk to you later.
All right. There you guys have it. That's the general, the Vol General, as we all know him. Good afternoon. You're on with Pete.
Yeah, good morning in that.
Hey, what's up, Uncle Lou? How you doing, sir?
Buckle up, ladies. This is going to be a bumpy ride. Let's take these in order. Let's start with the general. I like to call and educate the previous caller. So let's do that.
Yeah.
Now, first thing pops into my head about the general is this. How are you going to start your call by saying you can't believe that there's people that think Mississippi State is going to beat Tennessee, and then end the call by saying you can't believe FPI has ESPN favored in 9 games? Sir, if you think Tennessee is an obvious choice to beat Mississippi State, then how would they not be favored in 9 games? Who do you play, Tennessee fan, on your schedule that's better than Mississippi State? Georgia, Alabama, and Florida. So 9 would be the exact number you would expect Tennessee to be favored to win if you're the type of potato who thinks it's a given that Tennessee would beat Mississippi State. So his call made no sense from beginning to end because it was a giant contradiction. Number 2, back to the Mississippi State thing. He started off his call by saying, how could anybody think that Mississippi State would be a favorite over Tennessee? Sir, did you just start watching college football tomorrow? Tennessee has been an absolute dumpster fire program. Who's better, Mississippi State or Vandy? You can't beat Vandy. Of course there's people that think you're going to lose to Mississippi State. There's people that think you're going to lose to BYU and UAB. Of course there's – how can anybody act shocked? And I use that word act on purpose because he has to be acting because he's not that stupid. How can anybody act surprised that people think Tennessee might lose to Mississippi State? I'm not saying Tennessee will lose that game, but how can you act surprised that there's people who think they will? I mean, hasn't people been watching Tennessee over the last few years? I don't get it. Number 2, Kelly Bryant. No, Kelly Bryant doesn't deserve a ring, and it's not because of anything he did wrong. I mean, I think I've heard you say too that you don't really blame Kelly Bryant for what he did. So it's like I don't even consider it like a punishment to not give him a ring.
But you were on there stumping. You were on here stumping yesterday, saying he should get a ring.
No, I was not.
Yeah, you were. You're saying he should.
I said Georgia fan. No, I did not.
You said
I did not.
Look,
I said
sir,
you wouldn't beat Texas A&M without him. That's what I said. I said you wouldn't have beat Texas A&M without him. That's what you can't find a single comment that said where I said he deserves a ring. Not one.
You commented and said yes, he should get a ring because if it weren't for him, they wouldn't have beat Texas A&M. That's what you said.
Type. He don't deserve no ring.
I agree.
Listen,
right.
And then you got a lot of Georgia fans, though. You're right, talking about how he deserves a ring. What's funny is these are the same Georgia fans. Listen, if are saying these people that quit before the bowl game. I don't even know what consolation prizes they give out for these New Year's Six bowls anymore. You used to get a ring for winning the Sugar Bowl, whether it was a national title game or not, didn't matter. You used to get a ring for the Sugar Bowl. I don't know if they still do that or not because we lost. But you got Georgia fans that would have wanted DeAndre Baker to get a ring. I don't think DeAndre Baker should have got the ring if Georgia would have won the Sugar Bowl, and he played 13 games.
Yeah.
He only sat out the last one. If you quit before the game is played, you don't get the spoils or the rewards, period.
Yeah.
This is more participation trophy and everybody gets a ribbon type of crap here. And you know what? And I think I heard you make this point, or maybe it was the caller before the general. This is a media creation story. Kelly Bryant ain't begging for no ring.
No, he don't want it.
I mean, that would be kind of weird, I think, anyway.
He even said he don't want the ring. He don't want it.
Yeah. This is a media creation trying to start a fire where one doesn't exist. But I mean, you might as well just get used to that.
Well, I know.
That's one of the reasons Nick Saban has the attitude he has towards the media because when you're on top of the world, you're the focus of everybody all the time. And when there's not a legitimate story to write about Clemson, they got to write about Kelly Bryant not getting a ring. And unless you start losing some games, that's not likely to change in terms of media.
Look, hey man, listen.
Looking for any reason to put Clemson in a headline.
Yeah, and these Gamecock fans, and God love them. I mean, I know they got nothing about their own team to talk about, ever. But these are the same jokers that when Kelly Bryant left, they were all calling him a quitter and a loser, and he's quitting on his team. And Clemson's the players quit. The same ones are talking about, oh, you need to give him a ring now. I'm like, so what is it? Is he a quitter or does he deserve a ring? Because quitters don't deserve rings, as far as I'm concerned. So
Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
I agree with 100%. And now let's get to the meat of the issue here.
Okay.
Now, I'm not calling to start an argument here, but these are the facts as we know them today. These are just the facts. Clemson wins the national title in 1981. The following year, they're put on probation by the NCAA and found guilty of giving away cars, TVs, and large sums of cash to players and recruits. They get a bowl ban, they get a TV ban, and they get scholarship restrictions. Those are just facts. You win a title in 16 and 18, the end of 2018, less than 20 players on Clemson's team were tested. 3 of that less than 20 tested positive for a known banned substance. Out of 100 players on the team, we don't know for a fact that more than 3 were doing it, but we can do simple math, and we can assume that at least 15 players on Clemson's team were juiced up. Less than 20 were tested. 3 of that 20 tested positive. Multiply all those numbers by 5. At least 15 players were juiced up on the taters last year. Now, as far as should the titles count or not, you can't take away memories from the fans. Clemson fans have been ragging Southern Cal for 14 years about their 2004 national title. Southern Cal fans don't care because they still have the trophy. And y'all still have the trophies too, so you really should care. But there are going to be some fans who consider those titles tainted because maybe it's just a weird coincidence that every time you've ever won a natty, you've gotten busted. It's possible but again, I'm just laying out the facts as we know them.
All right, let's talk about facts. Can you hear me, sir? For some reason, my audio went dead. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
All right. So here's the facts.
Yeah, I hear you.
The facts are that you just made up a bunch of facts that you're doing.
No.
Listen.
I didn't make up a single fact.
Didn't make up a
single fact.
Lou, you called my show. I've seen your show before. You called here. It's my turn to talk. I let you talk. Look. You made up facts and you did deduction by subtraction, saying, well, if this many players were tested and this many players tested positive, that means that's how many players would have tested if they would have tested all the players. You know that's bullshit as much as I do, because if that's true, then there have been 80 players on Georgia's team that tested positive for marijuana over this past year. Second of all, look, you could give Jake Fromm and every other player on that entire Georgia offense, every steroid from here to Florida, and they would not be as good as Clemson's offense, sir. So if you think that that's the reason,
that's not a fact. That's an assumption. Well, that's not a fact. That's an assumption. The facts are Clemson got caught cheating. Those are the facts.
And those players didn't play in the game, did they, sir? Or in the playoffs?
The 3 that got caught, no, they didn't. But are you suggesting that they just started taking the banned substance the day before they were tested?
Well, I'm actually suggesting that they probably didn't take the banned substance at all, that it was in a creatine drink, because Ostarine is not something that's taken in low levels. It's taken at high levels. And that shit is known to be in creatine drinks. And that's – look, I'm not going to get into debate about whether it was, they took it intentionally or not, because I can't say whether or not they did. But I think that people that think that there was – the entire Clemson team's up there shooting up Ostarine is naive. And if you have think that has anything to do with how good that football team is, then you're in dreamland and jealous about them beating Alabama when you can't beat them.
I never said they took it intentionally. And number B, it doesn't really matter whether they took it intentionally or not. Clemson has $100,000 people on salary who are paid to know what those players are taking and what they're being given.
I agree with
that. So whether
they
took it intentionally or not is not the point.
I agree with that. I agree with you there. That is definitely a Clemson problem. I will not disagree with you there at all.
I mean, we're talking about a substance that's not approved for any human use at all anywhere on planet Earth and is banned by every sporting agency on planet Earth. So I mean, I find it hard to believe that it's just some kind of weird coincidence that out of 130 Division I football teams, Clemson is the only team who
sir.
Had players that accidentally took it.
That's exactly where you're wrong. Clemson's the only team that announced it. And Dabo Swinney, by the way, should have not had done what he did, because Alabama had 3 players suspended by the NCAA, and that is a HIPAA violation if they do not want to disclose that information. He did. He did not have to do that. For all we know, 3 Alabama players tested positive for Osterine. There might have been 50 other players in the NCAA that tested positive for it too, but it was not announced. So Dabo Swinney, as much as I love to defend him, he did not have to announce that they got tested positive for Osterine. He did not have to do that.
Well, Bama players that were suspended, they were suspended by the NCAA or suspended by Alabama?
They were suspended by the NCAA, the same as Clemson players were.
I'm going to have to look that up.
Yeah, look it up. It's a fact. I already looked it up, sir, 100 times. I promise you. I'm right.
Yeah, I know they were suspended. I thought they were suspended by Bama.
No.
Anyway,
Yeah.
That's not the point. We don't know if Bama cheated or not. Of course, they've been accused of cheating forever. Every team that wins gets accused of cheating.
Right.
Georgia gets accused of buying
Right.
recruits all the time. So,
Right.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if certain teams just aren't smart enough not to get caught or what. But like I said, Clemson fans getting mad about it. It's just something you're going to have to deal with. Like I said,
Oh, look, I'm not mad.
It's a line of Clemson fans. It's a line of Clemson fans from here to Egypt who have been clowning Southern Cal for their 2004 national title for the last 14 years. So, that's just what it's going to be.
Yeah, well, I embrace it. Here's the bottom line, Lou, because I believe that Georgia is such a great program right now. I believe that Georgia is going to win a national title in the next 2 or 3 years. I've said it on air, and I really believe it. I think that the coaching staff there and the way they're recruiting, it's just a matter of time before they, get past the Bama hurdle they're on and win a national title. And you will, listen, they're going to test positive for something, weed or coke or Osterine or something, and you'll be sitting here having the same conversation with people that I'm having right now. I promise you.
Well, no, I'll say Georgia has a tainted title. When Todd Gurley got suspended, Georgia fans lined up around the block wanted to kill me because I said he was a selfish idiot. He knew the rule and he shouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
So I don't apply different rules to different teams based on who I rooted for. Georgia gets caught cheating. I hope they get the death penalty. But I do think you're right about the national title.
Well,
thing,
but you're talking.
Anyway, no thoughts on the 81 thing that I asked about at the beginning. Nothing you want to add on that about what I was wrong on that?
You know what, sir? I was 1 year old at that time. I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about as far as that goes. I really don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And cars, TVs, large sums of cash, bowl ban, TV ban, lost scholarship.
Yeah.
But can't take memories away. Still got the trophy in your case.
Yeah. I'm sure that Clemson won the title in 81 because they bought cars. I'm sure that's true. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, but it's true. Yeah, the NCAA found him guilty.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Clemson admitted it. So.
Yeah. What about 80 though? It's been a long 35 years, hasn't it, sir? Thank you. What the hell happened there? Did I hang up on him? Lou, you there? I did not mean to hang up on him. As a matter of fact, I didn't even mean to do. Damn it. Good afternoon. You're on with Pete. Damn it. Good afternoon. You're on with Pete. What in the hell happened? Can you guys still hear me? Oh, Lord. Listen, I apologize, Lou, and anybody else who was on the line. I don't know. I did not mean to hang up on. I thought I was. Hold on. Let me see if I can fix this. I probably can't because I'm basically retarded when it comes to this kind of stuff. All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to end this show and start a new one. I mean, not on YouTube, but on the call-in thing, because I don't know what just happened there. That's my fault. I'm sure I did something. It wasn't his fault or anybody else's fault. By the way, that was a great call by Uncle Lou as well. Also and two, as he would say. You guys just give me 2 seconds to fix this, and I'd appreciate it. That's why I hate technology.
Thank you for calling Call-In Studios host and call screener line. Please enter your show number and press pound.
I hate that guy. That guy's voice. Whoever this call-in studio guy is. I want to punch him in the face.
Enter your 6-digit PIN number. Welcome, host. You are now in the host room and can manage your callers from the call-in studio web interface.
All right, guys. Thank you. Thanks. Who is somebody there? Hello? He's a re. Yeah, the call-in studio is now back up and running. So whoever was on hold and got hung up on, I apologize. You can go ahead and call back now. Good afternoon. You're on with Pete. Hello? Hello?
Hey, Pete, it's DeAndre. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Praise
How you
Jesus.
doing, man?
How you doing, man?
How you doing? Hey, good. That me, you done had. I like Uncle Lou. I donate to his show too. And me, you done had a lot of conversations about Clemson football in the '80s because my family was there in the '80s. I'm not gonna sit up here and say they were all Americans or nothing because they wasn't. They was on the team.
All right.
And they played. See, this is what makes me mad about when I hear about what SMU, Texas, and Clemson and Alabama did back in the 80s.
Uh-huh.
Everybody was doing it. And everybody was doing it because they were poor African-American kids that had been discriminated against all their lives. And some of those players that were getting money from the big white schools were assisting with some of that discrimination. They wasn't winning football games, but they also were They was helping those players out because they couldn't afford to go to college. I hear what Pete was saying. I heard what Uncle Lou was saying, but let's look at both sides of it. A lot of schools are doing it. SMU, Texas, Alabama, Auburn. A lot of schools are doing it. Some of them they get caught. UNC basketball. No telling what they were doing back in the day. Because they were the first ones to bring African American players in. Because they wanted to win football games, win basketball games. Everybody was doing it. And not saying it was right, but let's look at the reason why they were doing it. It was to help to build, help some of the kids out that couldn't go to school. And nobody looked at that side of, oh, y'all got caught cheating in 1981. Yeah, but they was also trying to help people go to school that couldn't really afford to go to school. We lived in a brick house. Danny Ford been in my house plenty of times.
Look, here's the
in my lifetime. I had a chance to meet, huh?
The brick house extends for every college football team. I was the first to come on here and defend this. You know, Missouri has a postseason ban in this coming year, and it was because like 5 years ago, some tutor helped some guys cheat on a test or something. I mean, you're talking about the stupidest thing that could happen, and now. None of the guys that were on that football team whenever that tutor helped that guy cheat, or maybe she helped multiple guys cheat. I don't know. That tutor and those players are not there no more. They're punishing Kelly Bryant and the rest of this Missouri football team that has been there for the past few years, and so the whole the system is screwed up. And you can point. I don't care who you are. You could take any team in America. I'm not saying it's right, but you could take any team in America: Alabama, Clemson. Ohio State, look, what are the teams that have won national championships in the past 10 years? LSU, Auburn, whoever else. And you can find something that says, oh, well, they cheated on this and they cheated on that. It's bullshit. Look, if there's open cheating like what we saw go on with this LSU basketball team thing where they're clearly buying players. I mean, there's deals being made on the phone. Now LSU did not win the title, so they don't matter. But had LSU gone on to win a title, that would have been a very clear, case of, that might be why they won because they bought the best players in the country or something like that. But if a couple players fail a drug test, I don't care if it's for steroids or for weed or for whatever, or somebody gets caught cheating on a test, over at this school. This is not the reason to punish the whole school. Listen, this is an NCAA problem, and I realize there's fan bases out there that when you're on top like Clemson is, it doesn't matter if it's Clemson or Alabama, they're going to try to discredit everything you do. It is what it is. I'm not complaining about that. But look, there's a big difference between complaining about it and calling you out for your bullshit on it. And that's what I'm doing. I'm calling people out on their bullshit. Otherwise, I wouldn't have a YouTube channel.
This is what my problem is. If you look at Florida State with 99, the Nike scandal, with they had the Nikes, Florida had murderers and all this stuff. Everybody, Georgia get in trouble for domestic violence. I mean, the players committing domestic violence. They get in trouble with weed. It's not right. They're individuals. Just because some of them do it doesn't make the whole Georgia team bad. That's my problem. Georgia hasn't won a national championship since 1980. That's something that's a small, time in history. But, individuals make mistakes. They make the whole team look bad. But not everybody was doing it. Yeah. Not everybody in Georgia slapping women around. Not everybody in Florida State was slapping people around and doing this to women or smoking weed. It was just some players. I mean, they had a lot of arrests on the Martin Reed and other coaches. So when people say that, everybody makes mistakes. But let's look at some of the social issues. And, if Kelly Bryant not getting a ring, I'm sure Kelly Bryant didn't ask for that ring.
He don't want the ring. He don't. They asked him. They asked him. He said he didn't want the ring. So, I mean, look, dude doesn't want the ring. They don't want to give him the ring. Why is he even a story? Listen, this is my whole point about this, is I could really care less whether they gave him a ring or not. I'm not losing no sleep over it. You're not losing no sleep over it. If they want to ship this guy a ring, ship him a ring. If they don't, they don't. But the point is that it's crazy. It's crazy that there's so many people in this country throughout the college football world that care whether or not Kelly Bryant gets a ring. Outside of Clemson, the only people that should care whether Kelly Bryant gets a ring should be inside of the Clemson fan base and inside that the upstate of South Carolina. Period. The rest of y'all could kick rocks. You have no opinion on this. It's none of your business to begin with, as far as I'm concerned. And that's maybe I'm old school, man.
I love it. Yeah. I know you got to go, but I love what Dabo says about Alabama and all these excuses too that Paul Feinbein had to keep making. Oh, they beat teams by 33 points or 31 points outside of Georgia. So where was this hard, tough schedule that we're talking about? I love that. I love that finally comeback and somebody says something. I know somebody said, oh, he took the high road. Everybody get tired of that. Let's look at the facts. Paul Feinbein always going after Clemson and Alabama. Clemson, just because of SEC. I was trying to tell Mark this. ACC had a better bowl record than the SEC last year, and they were 6-5, and Big Ten was 6-6.
Yeah, you better get.
I mean, not the Big Ten, the SEC.
Yeah.
So I just said, if we're gonna say that, we were a better team last year. I know it by half a game, but we're still the better school. Yeah.
Listen. First of all, I agree with you on this, so I'm not going to even go there. Because that's a whole nother, if you get me off on this thing, this could be a long night, bro, and I might have a stroke out here. So I'm not gonna even go down that road. But I agree with you on this right now. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, man. I heard Uncle Lou. He's a good guy. I like listening to his show. I like listening to all his other shows, but it upsets me. I was a history major, and I know, like I said, I know a lot of those schools do a lot of bad things, and they try to make up for it by helping so many kids out. And when they're wrong, yes, but so was the system. So I hate when I hear that, and because you might not understand the struggle. Not saying he grew up rich or anything, but sometimes people had to be helped out. And if you come to my school and we win a couple games, I can slide you some money. Hey, that's fine and dandy. I mean, hell, it's just money. These guys should be getting paid anyway. I mean, I'm not saying they should get millions of dollars, but what's wrong with getting them $100 or $200 a game? That's a little drop in the thing. But Pete, I keep listening to the show, man. You and Uncle Lou had a great back and forth, man. I didn't see the whole thing, but Y'all do a great show, man. You have a great night, sir.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
All right, bye.
And look, Uncle Lou, look, he's a pot stirrer, is what he is. And I get what he's saying, but Uncle Lou should probably do like the rest of Pete Jr. Uncle Lou should probably do what most other fans in the SEC, including Georgia, especially Georgia, should do, and stop focus on 3 players getting busted for Osterine or whether or not Kelly Bryant's getting a ring or not, and start worrying about how to beat Alabama. Because nothing matters other than that beating Alabama if you're in the SEC, period. End of story. But again, they're focused on, what happens behind the doors at Clemson with a bunch of non-important stuff that involves, doesn't involve their team. Period. But, it is. Listen, Lou's my boy, first and foremost. Listen, I admire and respect him, and I love arguing with him. So let's put that out there too. But all right, we got a bunch of other calls on here. Let's see who's on here. I'm gonna pick up the ones that came in order here. Good afternoon. You're on with Pete.
Pete?
Yep.
Hey, it's Cole, a Mizzou fan.
Hey, what's up, Cole? How you doing, man? It's been a while since I've talked to you.
Yeah, same. I saw you had the call-in show. I'm usually working now, but I'm not today. That's why I called in.
All right,
but
man.
I heard you talking about how Clemson self-reported, and I was just going to joke around and say, do you think they're going to get a bowl ban this year?
No. For what?
I thought you said earlier that they self-reported some PEDs or something like that.
No, they didn't. No, they self-reported like 13 violations. One of them was for releasing confetti. It was a bunch of like bullshit stuff. It wasn't nothing. No, it was no drug stuff. No.
Trust me, I know all about the bullshit self-reporting and getting a bowl ban, though.
Yeah, it was like one kid, mowed some guy's lawn and took more money than he should have because he mowed the guy's lawn or something. I don't know. It was just what they're. This is the problem, and this is what I'm saying. This falls into what happened with Missouri, to a different level. But it's like these schools have to self-report all this little meaningless crap that goes on just so they don't get a bowl ban. And that's what Clemson did, is they're like, all right, so what happened, that we possibly could get a bowl ban for? Oh, well, Scott mowed some guy's yard. Instead of paying him $20, he paid him $30. We got to self-report that. And that's basically the line of, the bullshit that goes on in the NCAA now. It's really pitiful and embarrassing.
Yeah, it's sad where it's going.
Yeah.
No, I was also going to say, you kept talking about all these Georgia fans worrying about KB getting a ring.
Yeah.
I think they should worry about trying to figure out how to stop KB when they play him.
That's a good point. Listen, there's one thing I do know for sure. I don't know about what's going to happen whenever Missouri plays Georgia or whenever Missouri plays Florida. Or even when Missouri plays Tennessee, even though I think Missouri will probably beat Tennessee. But there's one thing I do know, is that Kelly Bryant is from South Carolina, played at Clemson, obviously, and he's undefeated against the Gamecocks, and that ain't changing anytime soon. The Missouri Tigers will beat the ever-living hell out of the Gamecocks. I promise you that. I'll put money on that game if it's if it's reasonable spread.
Yeah. Another thing, too, just really quick. You said that you had a hot take that Mizzou could finish 11-1. I believe you stole that from me.
What?
That Mizzou could go 11-1. I was watching one of your videos after SEC Media Days, and you said Mizzou could go 11-1 at the hot take.
It was a hot take. I definitely said that based on their schedule, because they probably have the easiest schedule in the SEC this year because they drew.
Oh, they do.
They drew Ole Miss and Arkansas, right? Out of the West.
Yeah.
And then, listen, outside of Georgia, they could beat everybody else, and they don't play Georgia or Florida until the end of the season, if I'm correct, right?
Their last 4 games are Georgia, Florida, Tennessee, Arkansas.
Right. So yes. I didn't know I stole that from you because that was the first time I actually went through a game and game by game scenario on my channel. But if you said that before I did, then
we talked about it.
Oh, okay, yeah, that must have been way.
We did the last video.
Yeah, okay, that must have been way earlier before I really looked into it. But okay, I might have stole it from you. But hey, you agree with me, right?
Oh, for sure. I wish Mizzou would go 12-0. Just too bad this bowl ban, unless the appeal is in though. So hopes are high.
Hey, let me ask you this question, and this is something I don't know. So maybe somebody in the chat or either you can enlighten me on this. I probably should know the answer to this, but I don't. So there's a postseason ban. Does that mean that if Missouri wins the East, that they can't play in the SEC title game, or they can still? That's not considered the postseason.
I don't believe that we can play a game after we play Arkansas, no matter what the record is.
So you can't win the SEC, no matter what.
I do not believe so. Now, somebody in the chat could say different. I honestly haven't really looked into it. I'm more focused on beating the ever-living hell out of the teams in the East and the rest of the schedule, and we'll see where things go after that.
All right. Yeah.
But I just wanted to check in.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it. And I guess I'll give you credit for the 11-1 prediction, but whenever we're both wrong, I'm going to give you credit for being wrong about it too. How about that?
That's fine. You can go back in your video. I said the worst season I think they'll have 6-6.
I said 6-6.
No, I said the worst season that they'd have would be 6-6.
Well, that's a pretty low bar, sir.
That's me.
So you said 11-1 to 6-6. That pretty much covers all your bases. You can't be wrong.
No. I said they very well go 11-1. Like that's what I was predicting. I said it'd be a failure of a season if they went 6-6.
Well, yeah, that's pretty much like. All right. We're yeah, I agree with both of those takes. If you go 6-6, that is a failure because with your schedule, you should win nothing less than 8 or 9 games. Period.
I'd agree.
Yeah.
Especially, I will take a shot at Tennessee. I mean, they're rebuilding and they just seem to not be able to beat Mizzou.
Yeah. All right. I'm with you.
All right. Have a good one, Pete.
All right, man. I appreciate it. All right, there you guys have it. Mizzou fan that calls in from once in a while. I really appreciate him calling in. I can't wait for him to call back whenever the season gets started. I see another call on the line here. I'm going to just run through the chat here real quick and just see who else is here before I pick that up. So just hold tight one more second. Jamie McCaslin, how you doing, sir? Good afternoon to you. I do see – hold on a second. Dondre Crawford with a $1.99 super chat. Thank you. Tiger Nation's here. College Football Fan 1. I see Uncle Lou's in here. What's he saying? I made up facts in the debate, and he demands an apology. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't make up facts, sir. But I do apologize for accidentally hanging up on you. I did not mean to do that, though. So there's your apology. The general says Missouri shouldn't be in the SEC. They're like a weird uncle at Thanksgiving that shows up and nobody knows why. All right, let's see who else is on the line here. Good afternoon. You're on with Pete.
Pete, what's going on, man?
Hey, what's up, Ramon? How you doing, man?
Good, man. I almost got a tear in my eye right now, man. I mean, not to mention the fact that I'll be in Orlando in 2 weeks, but I just find myself incredibly blessed that, I don't have to run hypotheticals in my head because of a 40-year drought, man. I just feel so good about that.
Yeah. I hear you.
It's a blessing, man.
That is a blessing.
Yeah, man. Next week I'll be at the hometown high school, Vero Beach High School in Florida, watching us kick off our season in the biggest classification in the best state for football in the country. And then the next week I'll be in Orlando eating gator tail and whooping gator tail. So it's a great time to be alive.
Yeah, man. So
but one thing I will say about Georgia. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to ask you, is that the first time you've been to the Florida and Georgia game? I'm not Florida and Georgia, Florida and Miami game. Yeah. Yeah,
man, it's crazy, man. We talked about it a little bit before. as many sporting games and sporting events me and my pops been together, this is our first time going to this game because he's a Gator fan.
So you're going
my father's
going with the enemy.
Yeah, man. A real short story, man. My pops played on the only state championship team in our high school history. So he was like the guy. He was the man in our family. So when everybody was growing up, all the kids, when we had like the family functions and stuff like that, he always organized like all the sports events and stuff like that, where it was the kickball, the dodgeball, all that stuff. It was always Uncle Dwight. And for some reason, he just decided to let me roam my own path, and I chose Hurricanes. So I'm like the only non-Gator on my father's side of the family.
Well, that's cool, man.
And,
so
this
I'm
is our first time actually going to the game together.
I'm excited. I'm super excited. Obviously, that college football is starting. That's first and foremost. But I'm really excited that we have a game like Miami and Florida to open the season up. And you know what I heard today or yesterday? I can't remember what day it was because, I can't really remember what happened about 5 minutes ago. But game day, week 1 or week 0 or week 0.5 or whatever it is going to Clemson for Georgia Tech. Are you kidding me? That's on a Thursday night. Like, look,
but
as a Clemson fan, I'm supposed to be happy about them coming. When Georgia Tech's coming to town, I'm supposed to be happy about that? I'm supposed to get excited about that? No, I'm not excited about it. I'm sorry. I hope they go somewhere on Saturday too. I'm not getting excited about Georgia Tech. I'm just not. I mean, what are they trying to do? This is, you know what this is? This is an ESPN deal with the ACC network where they're like, oh, we got to hype up this Georgia Tech Clemson game. Like anybody really gives a shit outside of either one of those two towns who wins that game because nobody does. Nobody does. No, I promise you right now, nobody cares about Georgia Tech playing Clemson. Nobody. Am I right?
On Twitter, I see everybody up in arms scratching their head like, what the hell is this about? I know everybody like, are you effing kidding me? The first game day of the week is going to be Clemson versus GT. You got to give me something better than this. But what I will say is, I've seen the game day crew do a noon game and then fly halfway across the country for an 8:00 game. So I'm assuming if they can do that in one day, that they got to be doing another game 2 days later. I mean, it's only right. That was my automatic assumption. I think they're probably just trying to figure out what it's going to be. And what's the biggest game going to be? That Auburn game the first week of the season?
For who? For Clemson?
For college football. No, for college football, they have Auburn, Oregon the first week of the season. Also,
yeah. So Auburn, Oregon, week 1, and then Texas and LSU week 2. Also, Clemson and Texas A&M week 2. That's really those two games are probably the biggest games week 2. I know week 4 is Georgia.
That's some early action.
Yeah, I know week 4 is Georgia and Notre Dame. I don't know about week 3. I know there's another big game that week, but it's just pitiful, man, to put Georgia Tech in a game day situation. What are we doing? I mean, I thought game day was supposed to mean something. And then, on top of that, Clemson's playing a real team the next week after Georgia Tech. They're playing Texas A&M. And so to just slap Texas A&M right in the mouth, too. Hey, Kirk Herbstreit just took out his thing out his pants and just whacked it right across Jimbo Fisher's face and everybody down there in Aggie land. That's sad.
Oh, man.
This would be the last time that Georgia Tech has a game day until – we're taking personal vacations to Mars. Yeah,
until further notice for sure. Yeah. Like I said, I mean, they did 2 games. They did a 12:00 game and an 8:00 game in one day before the crew. So I can only assume that they got to be looking at the calendar on that first Saturday of the official week 1, thinking they're going to do a game 2 days later. That's my only assumption. I mean, I can't see a scenario where they don't do another game 2 days later. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah. Yeah,
because I know people. It's going to be a lot of hungry football fans if that's the only game they do that week.
Yeah, hold on. I got to address something here because Uncle Lou, he's going ape shit in the comment section, and he sent me a $5 super chat asking for an apology. Listen, first of all, I appreciate the super chat, Uncle Lou. You know I do that. But he says, any chance Clemson can beat UGA 24 times in a row and even up the series? And then it's a bunch of syringes full of green shit. I'm assuming that's, marijuana liquid based on where he's coming from. And he says, hashtag apologize to Lou. Well, look, it's going to take a lot more than $5 for me to apologize to anybody because I'm always right. I am undefeated. Uncle Lou says that the Trolls are undefeated. I am undefeated against the Trolls. And that's the way that's going, sir. So until you can prove to me that I need to apologize to you, that ain't going to happen. You can send me $5. You can send me $10. You can send me $15. If you send me $30, though, I might actually consider it. All right, go ahead. How you doing, Ramon? What were we talking about?
Oh, no. I mean, all I was going to say is, me and you, people like me and you who, put logic and, take things at what they're really worth. We know how top-heavy the SEC has been. Even though we got people, hanging out at their trailer parks yelling SEC, SEC, we know it's been the West that's been carrying the banner for them. And, this is going to be like for the first times in a while that the East is really looking formidable. So Georgia got to worry about more than just Alabama right now. They got Missouri, and as much as I really don't F with those guys at all, they got Florida coming up the rear. Obviously, we see what Kentucky is training for. I mean, Stoops. I'm very happy they gave Stoops a chance to even. That's rare. They give guys 7, 8 years to actually get a program going the right direction in the SEC. First of all, but I mean, Georgia got some big fish to fry. So, along with LSU and Jimbo got going on over there. So, Georgia, like you said, you gave them 2 to 3 years to win the national championship, right? If they don't win one in this next 3 years, it's gonna be a sad day for Georgia because they're gonna be taking a back seat somehow, some way. I mean, you can only keep catching those L's for so long.
Yeah. I want to do something right now. Sorry, Ramon.
What's up?
There's other stuff happening on the screen right now. This motherfucker. All right, listen, you win. I submit. Uncle Lou wins. I apologize to Lou. I don't even know.
Man.
Yeah, I know. I apologize to Lou. I don't even know why I'm apologizing, but I did tell him. I did tell him if he donated $30, I would apologize. He donated 25, which is close enough. So, Lou, you're right, sir. Obviously, I'm wrong about everything, and you're right about everything. That's that.
With a 5 and 25 made a combination of 30, so he's a man of his word.
And I rounded up. The same way. I rounded up the same way that Lou did about how many people got busted for Osterine. He rounded up from 3 to 50. So I rounded up from 25 to 30. Yeah.
Yeah, we call that Athens math.
All right, guys, look.
Uncle, that's Athens math. That's.
Thank you, Lou, for the super chats. By the way, you're amazing and fantastic. And also, Ramon Jordan is amazing and fantastic as well.
Yeah, I know it's a struggle right now because you have an impeded phone call, so I respect that. So I'm not gonna hold up the rest of the callers. I'm gonna let you do your thing, but hey, man, keep doing what you do, man. I'm tuning in.
All right, man. I appreciate the call. Thank you.
All right, man. Take it easy.
All right. I swear to God. Excuse me. I'm about to take this last call because this guy's been holding for a while. Hold on. Good afternoon, your old Pete.
Yo, what's going on, Pigskin? What's going on? How you doing?
What's up, man? How you doing? Who's this?
Yeah, this is Mario.
Hey, what's up, Mario? How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm a big fan.
Thank you, man. I think that listen, I know you've been you've been commenting and watching my videos for a long time. I don't know if you've ever called in though.
Nah, this is my first time, man. I actually I've been wanting to catch one of your one of these shows or whatever, but
awesome.
I always be working and stuff. So
Well, I'm listen. I appreciate you calling in. So, what's on your mind?
Yeah, man. First of all, had a question. Like, okay. I was looking at ESPN or whatever. I was looking at Stephen A's, because I commented yesterday on who he thought his conference champions was going to be, and I was wondering, did you take a look at that? And if you did, what'd you think about it?
About who was conference champion?
Yeah, Stephen A. He put up his who he thought the conference champions was going to be this year, and when I took a look at who he thought was coming out the ACC, he had Florida State coming out. So I was wondering, did you take a look at that? And if you did, what did you think about that?
Look, man. If anybody thinks, if anybody really thinks that Florida State is going to win the ACC, then look, they don't. He needs to stop talking about college football and concentrate on LeBron James and Kevin Durant or whatever the hell he knows about, because he definitely don't know shit about college football. I promise you that.
True that.
Yeah.
True that. Yeah, because I was taking a look at it, and I'm like, is this guy like a Clemson hater? What is up with that? Clemson has all this talent on the squad and all that stuff, and all these people on offense coming back, like Etienne and of course Trevor Lawrence and all these recruits coming in, and you still put Florida State on top of Clemson. I don't understand. What is up with that, man? These guys must be not looking at stats or anything like that.
First of all, I think Stephen A. is probably just trolling when he says that. Last year, all Clemson fans know about this. It was 3 or 4 weeks left in the season, and he did his top 5 list, and he had Alabama in the top 5 list. There was nobody outside of Alabama. He had Alabama at 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, which is basically impossible. Not basically, it is impossible. And so he's trolling. You know what this is? You got people like Paul Feinbaum and Stephen A. Smith and a lot of these other, these broadcasters. This is what's so great about the Clemson fan base, is that we bombard all these people, man. We bombard them with facts, and they get so agitated by Clemson fans that their head explodes. And that's all they focus on is Clemson. And Clemson fans, they can't handle success. No, you can't handle losing, motherfucker. That's the way it goes. Right. And that's what I have never been more proud. And listen, I've always been proud to be a Clemson fan. I was proud beyond belief when they won in 2016. I was proud beyond belief when they went 15-0 last year. But I have never been more proud than in the past couple weeks when you've got former players like Taj Boyd, you've got the head coach like Dabo Swinney, you got people like me on YouTube that come out there and just blast all these people. And this is what it's all about. I really don't have any other words to put it in other than when you get this much attention during the offseason and they're still talking about last year or 2 years before that when the season's about to start, then that's when you know that you've arrived. And so everybody better get used to it.
Yeah.
Like Taj Boyd said, we ain't going nowhere. Get used to it. That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah. Now, let me say this. Now, I'll say that Paul Feinbaum, I think he's opened his eyes a little bit because he's not really guessing Clemson or trolling Clemson like he usually does. Clemson's not going to be this or that, and they're just an average team. I think he's opening his eyes a little bit, not completely. I think Trevor Lawrence or whatever, and Clemson has to prove that we can win multiple national championships before he'll actually open his eyes completely. I think he's still on the Alabama bandwagon, man. I mean, that's what I think. And then as far as this Kelly Bryant deserves a ring, I don't think he deserves a ring, man. I think he should at least have stayed on a roster instead of transferring in order to get a ring.
Look, man, here's the thing.
That's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying?
The ring, this is like a woman. This is like a battered woman who has been dating a man for the past 20 years, and all her girlfriends are saying, girl, you deserve a ring. Girl, you deserve a ring. He needs to give you a ring. You've been dating him for 20 years. You've been putting up with his bullshit for 20 years. Girl, you need a ring. If the person that is giving out the rings is not willing to give you a ring, then you don't deserve a ring. And Kelly Bryant don't deserve a ring. Look,
Exactly.
look, he was not there for the last 11 games of the season. I love Kelly Bryant. I don't blame him for leaving. As a matter of fact, if I was Kelly Bryant, I would have left too. And I'll be pulling. I'll be pulling for Kelly Bryant, but Kelly Bryant don't deserve a ring, man. He was not there with the team for the whole year. Period. End of story. I don't even understand why this is a controversy, to be honest with you.
And I'm pulling for Kelly Bryant too, because he did his thing for Clemson last year. I mean, the year before last or whatever. But I mean, the dude couldn't throw for 80 yards when we played Alabama in the Sugar Bowl. Like, what is people crying about?
Yeah, I don't know. First of all, I don't even know why anybody outside of Clemson is concerned about whether Kelly Bryant gets a ring or not. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah, well, everybody's going to have their opinion about Clemson, and I think like you and Bobby Dirks was talking about, this is all about Dabo, man. People are trying to hate on Dabo because he's an upcoming coach. He's winning national championships. He's beaten one of the best college football coaches twice in the biggest game. And, they're just trying to find ways just to belittle Dabo. But, the one thing I like about Dabo Swinney is he's a humble guy. He doesn't, look at the media noise. He continues to focus on Clemson and his players. And I think that's why Clemson is going to continue winning national championships, because you don't focus on, the media. That's why Nick Saban and Alabama is able to win national championships, because they don't focus on media. They focus on the season ahead. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, Dabo Swinney, that's the reason I love him. He doesn't care what people say. And, he'll get a lot of criticism for stuff he says because they say, well, he shouldn't say this, he shouldn't say that. He just don't care. And why would he care? He's cashing $90 million checks, and he's winning national championships.
Right.
And the people that play for him love him, and the people that are inside of the Clemson community love him. So anybody outside of that parameter, he does not care about. And that's why I love him, respect him. And listen, I'll tell you this right now. I promise you, there's not a single team out there, maybe not Alabama because they love Nick Saban, but outside of Alabama, there's not a single team out there that if they tomorrow said they could get Dabo Swinney as their head coach, would not trade their coach for him. Not one. Not a single one. And if you tell me that you're a fan of a team that you wouldn't trade your coach for Dabo Swinney, then you're a liar. How about that?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, and Dabo knows how to keep his staff around. That's what I like about him. He's willing to take a pay cut to pay his staff. I love that. You know what I'm saying? That's a coach that I'm sure a lot of I think any team in the country would like Dabo Swinney.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Look, man, I got to let you go because my computer's dying and I got to end the show. But I really appreciate the call, and don't be a stranger.
Of course not, man. Thanks, though.
All right, man. I appreciate it. Thank you for calling in, brother.
All right, man.
All right. Yeah. Uncle Lou says he wouldn't trade Kirby. Then you're a liar, sir. And I take back my apology. I'm just kidding. I don't even know what I'm apologizing for. Oh. All right, guys. Listen, I could do this all night. But one of two things are going to happen. Either my computer's going to die or I'm going to die because my blood pressure is through the roof right now. Yeah. Been one of those days. Has nothing to do with football. Just been one of those days in real life. So, look, I appreciate everybody that called in. I appreciate Uncle Lou. Listen, Uncle Lou gave, as far as I can tell, he gave 30. Hold on. As far as I can tell, he gave $30. Hold on, no, 35. Let me see here. I need to get this right. 5, 25, 5, $35. Thank you, sir. I don't know what else to say about that. And he gave an amazing and fantastic phone call as well. Dondre Crawford with $1.99. All the people in the chat that showed up, all the people that hit the like, all the Patreon members, all of the Super Chat people, Bet Now, clemson.edu. Hit the link in the description. You got to use the link. This is important. If you want some of the proceeds that you enter into the into your deposit to go to St. Jude's Hospital, then you have to use the link. And if you want to get a 50% bonus on your deposit, you have to use the promo code Peete, Peete. It's fun. I'm going to do it starting 2 weeks from now with the Miami game. We'll do some live bets on the air. I guess that's it. I will see you guys later. All of you, early next week. I have another behind the camera coming on early next week. I think maybe Tuesday, if everything comes through. But I'm sure I'll be on here between now and then defending, meaningless and pointless Clemson material because everybody else in the country is obsessed with Clemson for some reason. Instead of talking about their own teams, they'll be talking about whether or not the cleaning lady gets a ring or not. All right, guys. Have a great day. Pigskin Pete checking out.